Hi there, I'm Professor Blackmore, and I want to welcome you to ProfessorBlackmore.com, where our goal is to empower results through real productivity. And I'd like to ask that you please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell so you won't miss any of my tips. And please also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Now today, I'm coming back to you to discuss developments surrounding the Waukesha, Wisconsin, Darrell Brooks Christmas Parade Massacre. And as you know, within days of the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict in Kenosha, Wisconsin, Darrell Brooks drove his car at times at a very high rate of speed into the path of a Christmas parade, injuring over 40 people and killing 6 people in a mass casualty event. And just like the Kyle Rittenhouse case, it's quickly turned political and racial. There's all kinds of speculation that Darrell Brooks is a member of Black Lives Matter, and he intentionally mowed down these innocent adults and children participating in and attending this Christmas parade that they had to cancel last year due to COVID-19. But you also have the left and the right squaring off in a political argument about the disastrous results of bail reform. And this is because the facts reveal that Darrell Brooks had a lengthy rap sheet, including decades of criminal violations, including bail violation. And he was recently bailed out of jail on November the 19th by his mother on charges of domestic violence. And if you can believe it, running over his girlfriend and mother of his child using the very same vehicle. Now, the court granted him bail in that prior case in the amount of $1,000. His mother posted the bail, and here we are. Apparently, his mother now regrets posting the bail. But here is the docket sheet for that prior case, and as you can see, among the charges is a felony bail jumping charge. So at the time of the domestic violence event, he also had bail jumping charges. He had already jumped bail. So the question is, how could he be given bail, and how could it be so low? Well, some would argue that the underlying charges were misdemeanors, not felonies, but they were in connection to domestic charges affecting the safety of the domestic violence victim and the public safety of the community as a whole. Now, I had originally heard that this bail was lowered to $1,000 as a result of the speedy trial rule. You see, you can't set bail high, then just lock them up and throw away the key, and then take 10 years to bring the case and prepare it for trial. And so I had heard that this prior case was running afoul of the speedy trial rule, and as a result, the bail was lowered to $1,000. But as you can see on the docket sheet, Darrell Brooks was arrested on the domestic violence charges on November the 5th, and the judge set bail in that same $1,000 amount on the same day. So these speedy trial allegations just don't seem to be true. But I think that this is a less important part of the discussion of this case because, in my opinion, I can see that the current charges for the 6 killings most probably won't hold up for 2 reasons. Now, as you know, Darrell Brooks was recently arraigned for the murders, and at that time, the prosecutor charged him with 5 counts of intentional murder, more specifically 5 counts of Wisconsin's first-degree intentional homicide. And in this current case, the judge set bail at $5 million to be paid in cash only. And so it is my understanding that this bail may not be posted in the form of a bail bond. On the contrary, for him to be released pre-trial, he's going to have to come up with the $5 million all in cash. Now, I personally think it should be higher. On that same day, the prosecutor reported to the court that she had learned of an additional death of an 8-year-old boy, but the prosecutor had not yet filed that 6th count. Now, I personally would have held off on making this report to the court, and I would have waited until I filed that additional charge and possibly went back to the court to see if I could possibly increase that bail to $10 million cash. Because you may have heard that one or more GoFundMe accounts have been started to raise the bail on the behalf of the defendant. Now, GoFundMe has shut down these accounts, and they've vowed that they will shut down any future attempts to sponsor any such accounts to raise the bail for Darrell Brooks. So as you can see, there are so many sideshows attached to this case. But I think the more important thing to keep a lookout for is, will the prosecutor be able to maintain these first-degree intentional homicide charges? I don't think she will for two reasons. Now, I'm going to show you the same first-degree homicide statute that I showed you when I discussed the Kyle Rittenhouse case. And again, I'm going to point out some key words, and they are intent to kill. I can see a good defense attorney bootstrapping a series of arguments that will impede the prosecution's ability to prove up the element of intent to kill beyond a reasonable doubt. For one, when you look at the path of this vehicle at times, you can see what seems to be, or what could be argued to be, an attempt to go around some of the people in the path of the vehicle, which could negate the element of intent to kill. Now, in my opinion, I think this case may likely end in first-degree reckless homicide or homicide by negligent operation of a vehicle, or even homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle, if there are any facts that may establish that the defendant was intoxicated in any way. Now, along with these seeming attempts to maneuver around people, you will also see the defense attorney most probably attempt to offer arguments related to Darrell Brooks' mental capacity in order to negate the intent to kill element of the crime. You're already seeing news reports that discuss the idea that Darrell Brooks suffered from a bipolar condition from a very early age or a very early time in his life. And so in addition to lessening of the charges from first-degree intentional homicide to excuse altogether the defendant's behavior by pleading insanity. According to Wisconsin law, a criminal defendant who's found to have been legally insane when they committed a crime may be found not guilty by reason of insanity. Now, there are a few states that don't allow the insanity defense against criminal charges, but Wisconsin is not one of these states. So now here is where you'll find Wisconsin's insanity defense law in its statutes. So in my opinion, more important than the rampant speculation that we're currently feeding on emanating from the racial and political arguments about Darrell Brooks' connection to Black Lives Matter and any intentional racial killing spree or the failure of the cash bail system, more important than any of this, in my opinion, is the idea of whether the prosecutor will even be able to sustain the first-degree intentional homicide charges until the end. So if Darrell Brooks' mental capacity is not merely used to negate the intent to kill element, it is even more important to be on the lookout for a full excusing of charges using Wisconsin's insanity defense. What do you think? If you agree and think this is something the defense might try, let me know in the comments. And if you don't agree, let me know also by leaving your comments in the comments section of this video. And as always, we'll have to wait to see what happens. But until then, if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. And please also subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's not just a cliche. I hope that you'll consider doing so. It would help my channel tremendously. And please also click the bell so you'll be notified when I post new videos on this topic or even when I decide to go live. And please also follow me on TikTok and Instagram.